It's just a huge honor for me today to be podcast interviewing Satish Medicetty, who is a CEO and spouse of a dentist of patientXpress. And then we're with the founder, Hemesh Surana, who's a CTO and is also a spouse of a dentist. So did you guys meet each other in some support club for men who are married to dentists?
I should say it's almost true because, I mean, you can see by just how being a spouse of a dentist is as high a category of being on our title. So you can say, yes, I think that played a very, very important role in how we met and then where we are and how we're working together. I should say we almost didn't have a choice but to do that.
Well, let me read the founder is Hemesh. Let me start with his bio. Hemesh Surana is a seasoned techie. He spent 15 years at Oracle before starting his software venture, patientXpress. This venture started as a hobby to help his dentist wife, who had purchased a boutique dental practice a few years back. He wore many hats in the dental office and observed closely to find many broken processes, inefficiencies, which cost thousands of dollars in revenue leakage. For example, due to daily frenzy, staff missing out to verify insurances on the day of service, which caused denial claims, staff not having proper data at our fingertips when handling calls and missing out revenue opportunities, owner doctors not having proper visibility on phone activities, who answered which call and their notes for the call, staff logging into multiple websites to verify insurance, staff not able to easily customize reminder recalls, and many more. All these daily office operation pains led to the vision of an all-in-one comprehensive portfolio of tools to manage a dental office efficiently and to focus on generating more revenue and plug the revenue leakage. And this is Satish is your CEO. He's a doctor of veterinary medicine, a PhD, but also an MBA. I have an MBA. I mean, this has been a problem since I got out of dental school 32 years ago. So, so you're trying to solve a problem for your wives. How's it going?
Well, I think, so far we've had very positive outlook towards this product and also what we are able to learn in the market already. And the dental offices that are using this product have been giving us excellent feedback, I would say. So, I mean, overall, I think the journey has been very encouraging so far. And we're really looking forward to, take it to the next level in the next a few months to a year. Yeah.
So there's a lot of new players doing this. What is your unique selling proposition? Why did you decide to go the long route and just start your own company doing it yourself, as opposed to some of the other software solutions that are out there now?
That's definitely a very appropriate comment. Yes, indeed, there are a lot of players in this industry later, a lot of providers offering these services. So I think it was very important for us to look at, what is unique about us and how we can really have an impact. So when you look at this particular image on the screen right now, I mean, we were thinking about, okay, the product should really be a force multiplier to the front desk. And more importantly, support the full cycle of patient interaction. A patient can use or the office, patientXpress, starting from online appointment booking, as well as online patient registrations, patient reminders. Insurance verification is a very, very important need where we know that several other players are not able to provide that service at this point. And then at the top in the middle is Smart Caller ID. I'll come back to it. Very, very important thing because we actually have a patented platform around Smart Caller ID. And then going further down, obviously, call logs. How are we doing with our patient calls and the calls that we missed? And how can we follow up on that? And then after the appointment, reviews, reputation management, and continuing to communicate with our patients with a two-way texting system. And finally, putting it all together in reports that are very easy to understand for the front office or anybody in the office to take actions. I think all of these were an integral part, and if we are able to come or bring everything together in a cost-effective manner, we thought that's the most important thing for this product.
Now, why do you think it's 2019 and I still have to have a human call a human at a dental insurance company and verifying this claim. I've had a full-time employee doing this for 3 decades. And when people complain about the cost of healthcare, do they not know that 30% of the cost is paperwork? Why do you think that we landed on the moon in 1969 and I still have to hire a human to call your human to do something that should be just an automated electronic? Why do you think that is?
Well, I would say, first of all, fantastic statement, right? So Howard, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, it's from a technology perspective, unfortunately, healthcare as a whole, I mean, especially dental industry in a greater extent, I think we're really far behind compared to other technologies that people are using right now. I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, insurance verification over phone is waste of resources on both ends. I mean, both the practices as well as the insurance companies. And unfortunately, it's the patients sometimes who end up wasting a lot of these benefits just because they don't know what they have or what they can achieve with the benefits that they have. So I think part of the problem is really adapting this new technology and then trying to put it all together and then making it easy. And I think having a technology that actually makes it easy. I think these are all the problems in my mind. I think we are taking steps in the right direction here. I believe our platform, certainly is going in the right direction to make it easy for both offices as well as insurance companies to take it to the next level. And I know the providers are looking into it as well, and I think it's going to change very soon.
So let me add to that, Howard, which Dr. Farran, we were talking about the automation. So that's what we are differentiating ourselves compared to the others in the marketplace. We provide the automation of insurance verification. So if you want to run the script with our software, 5 days before, 2 days before, on the day of the service, we can do all this insurance automation for you. So for example, we were losing thousands of dollars when my wife was running her office, and we saw on the day of the service, patient was not active. He went to another dentist, used up all the benefits, and we were losing money. That's why we got this insurance verification tool in our portfolio, which can go on the day of the service, check your hundreds of appointments and make sure that patients are active on those appointments and put we as a verified on those appointments. If patient is not active, then we will highlight some way so that you can do it manually. So we have started the automation process already. And within 5 minutes, all your 100 appointments in a day are verified automatically, whether they're active or not, how much money is remaining.
So do you want to give a demo right now of your, yes. Just give a demo of what you do, because, this has been my pet peeve for 3 decades, is the business of dentistry. These people don't know how many, we've already almost finished half the year. And if you ask any dentist in America, how many people called your office in the first half of 2019? They have no idea. How many of the calls were missed? So they don't know any of this stuff. So talk about what attributes of this product you're making and why they're important to you.
Perfect. So I've got 2 appointments. One is the Bertha and another is Ashmet. So those 2 patients, in one patient, you'll see that V is verified, and another, you see this no V out there. So that means that our script was automatically able to verify this appointment that she has active insurance. And since there was no V out here, it's not automatically verified. And how easy it is to find out whether the person is active on that insurance or not, you select the patient and click the patient info button, which we provide at the top. It will tell you whether the person is active or not. So it's real time talking to the insurance company. You see the working button, and it's going to tell you whether the person is active on that insurance or not within a fraction of a second. And we'll find out whether she's today or not.
And in the meantime, while we are waiting for that, perhaps what I can add here is the dashboard that you're seeing on the right-hand side of the screen. So this is what we call the intelligent dashboard, right? So the technology, the smart caller ID technology that we have, it actually integrates the phone and the patient management system and is able to generate this dashboard to give a snapshot of the key patient information. So even before you go into a detailed patient chart, you're able to actually get their information, whether or not they have an appointment, recall history, insurance. I think we have the data here already. And then, any pending treatment plans, his family data, a bunch of things that are important. So this is, again, our patented software. Again, this is not a hardware. This is a software plugin that we add to the offices. So.
So coming back, so you can see the patient, Ashmit, I tried the second patient. He has MetLife insurance, $2,252 remaining. This is all real time we are able to pull in. And if you want to get further details, you click this I button and it will give you further details. Let me clear all the drawings which we have got here. For example, you want to search whether this patient is ortho coverage or not. You type ortho out here. It will filter out all the data from insurance company related to ortho. If you want to filter out further details about his remaining data, so I'll search remaining, all the limitations regarding remaining are shown up out here. If you want to search all about deductible, so you can see all the deductible related information is showing up. So we have made it insurance verification a little easier compared to logging to website or calling insurance company. Here with a one click, you have the data at your fingertips and you can quickly make a decision inside the dental practice when patient walks in. And that's how we are helping dental practices plug the revenue leakage in their office by optimizing the insurances when it's in front of them. So we provide multitude of features right from the online appointment booking. So let's find out one of the online appointment booking, how people can book appointment for our system. Let's log in quickly. Oops. Looks like the system is not working for online appointment booking internet. Let's go to other features. We provided the actionable report like recall reports or pending treatment reports. If folks want to find out how many how many patients are due for implants who do not have the future appointment, they can search the implants here and pick the date and time. It's going pretty slow on my side, so I'm going to use search. So we give you this actionable list. So it's found out there are 39 patients who do not have future appointments for implants. Now your office can slice and dice the data based on kind of insurances, how many times you have reminded them. You can right click and call right from your practice management software, or you can send them a text message also. So if I want to select all, within 3 clicks or 4 clicks, I can select all the patients in my list for implants and send them SMS or email to follow up for the appointment. Or I can do a little marketing for them, campaign for them. Hey, look, we are doing some implant campaigns. We have a specialist coming in our office. Would you like to come and get the treatment done? So this way you can follow up with the patients pretty quickly with our actionable list. And we provided the call tracking feature, so you can find out how many calls came in your dental office, who picked up that call, and what's going on site, and is it a real patient call or a marketing call, all those things you can search. For example, if I want to find out who the phone number is, this perspective, which is not in our database, if I select and click the W button, I can find out whether this is the mobile phone number, spam phone number, marketing phone number. So I can quickly search on internet and find out. So you can see this is the mobile phone number. Some patient is calling from Texas. So I can follow up by calling this patient, right click from the call log, or I can send them SMS or add the task list to do the follow-up task so that in my office, somebody can follow up with this patient. So I'm going to add task, assign it to another office member.
So would you, first of all, let's explain this in macro. Is this more something you use in addition to a practice management system like Dentrix, EagleSoft, Open Dental, or is this something that you want to use just only and you wouldn't need Dentrix or EagleSoft or Open Dental?
So we need a practice management software like the EagleSoft, Dentrix, or Open Dental. And we are on top of it, we are a plug-in on those practice management software. We augment the operations inside a dental practice.
Okay, so let's I'm going to hold your feet to the fire. This is your space. You're both married to a dentist. If some kid just walked out of dental school and they're going to go open up their dental practice, you've worked with all these software. What would you recommend? Dentrix, EagleSoft, Open Dental, what would you recommend?
So all practice management softwares are good, but I have got leaning towards Open Dental because it's open source and you can easily create the solution on top of it. And that's how I started patientXpress, because Open Dental, I was able to read the code inside out and figure it out and extend the Open Dental the way which I felt my office should run.
Okay, so let me stop there, just because these kids studied dentistry for years and years, and they might not know what you said, but I was on another practice management system for SoftDent for 30 years. And that's why we switched to Open Dental. I have no relationship with Open Dental. They've never given me $1. They don't even advertise. So I'm not even plugging in an advertiser. They don't advertise because they're growing too fast because of what you just said. It's an open source software. So we both agree. Open Dental. Do you have a good relationship with Open Dental? I mean, do they seem to work with you, or are they hard, or are they like Dentrix, where it'd probably be easier to have dinner tonight with Trump than talk to anybody that knows what's going on at Dentrix?
So being open source is open code, so we can pull in the code from them and can modify the application. So innovation which gets inhibited when your proprietary software gets stopped. And that's why we were able to create so many solutions, the patented software around Open Dental, like Smart Color ID Satish talked about before. So integrate your phone service and your practice management software without even changing your existing phone service. We are the only one in the marketplace who can hook into your existing digital phone service and provide you Smart Color ID. We are the only one in the marketplace hook into your existing phone service and provide you call tracking. So that's why.
Okay, let me stop you right there, because again, you guys are married to dentists. I'm a dentist, but the devil's in the details. When you talk about call tracking, are you talking about your regular phone line, or are you talking about voice over internet protocol? For you to do this, what type of phone are you talking about?
Digital phone services. So we are dependent on digital phone services.
Okay. But does that mean VoIP?
It's not 100% VoIP. There are certain phone companies who are digital but not VoIP. So like Comcast, Time Warner Cable, the cable companies are not VoIP companies technically. So they're a hybrid of, so we call them digital. So any digital phone service which are using digital signals, we can integrate our plugin with them pretty easily. Okay,
how does a dentist listening to you right now, driving into work, know if their phone line is digital or analog?
Great question. So if they are able to see the old telephone instrument in their office, they are 80 to 90% using analog phones. So digital phones require different instruments, which has got more caller ID and all those things. So kind of a voicemail tracking and those new features.
And what percent of the dentists in the United States do you think have a digital phone?
So percentage is growing daily. So I believe it's almost over 50% are going digital. My wife, when she started her dental practice, she was inhibited of going voice over IP or digital phone service. She felt like phone is the bread and butter of her office. Yes, initial 6 months hiccups we had to learn about this VoIP, but once we moved to the VoIP, not a single day we had any issues. If internet is down, all the phone calls get transferred to our cell phone in our office. So we don't feel any interruptions anymore. But if AT&T was down, which we had before, if somebody cut the cable outside, for days we were figuring out how to make our phone service work. Now it's pretty easy with voice over IP or digital phone services. You can direct on your smartphones and you can work your office remotely.
And Howard actually projected that 90 to 100% of the phone services are going to be digital in the next 5 to 10 years. And I think that's how the industry is shifting. So I think one way or the other, all businesses will be, in some ways forced to go in that direction. And yes, we had in my wife's office, we actually did that change last year. And, we took a while. I mean, it took almost like 3-4 months for us to even make that decision. But I think our experience was much more smoother than what Hemesh is explaining. We got onto the VoIP service, and then literally we did that over the weekend. And by next week, I think everything was going just fine. Yes, we did have a couple of the minor issues, but other than that, I think it was fairly straightforward, I would say.
I want to stay on this issue because, like I say, when you go to Dental Town and they're talking about these are huge issues, VoIP. When you said the phone line went down and they referred them to your digital phones, your smartphones in the office, how many times does that happen in a month or a year?
Year, twice or thrice.
Twice a year, okay. And it's the same thing with cloud. Like these people get on, they talk about the miracles of VoIP phone systems. They talk about cloud computing. They're like, why would anybody want to have a server and software and firewalls? Why don't you put it on the cloud? But there must be something going on in the cloud yet, because it really hasn't taken off in dentistry to McDonald's. I mean, you still see all these franchises where every store location has, the internet connection, the server, the software, all that stuff. Is cloud in dentistry bleeding edge, and it's going to really take over the next 5 to 10 years, or is it here today? Is it leading edge?
It's a leading edge, I believe. It might catch up down the line. The biggest challenge which I see with the cloud base is our digital x-rays. So bringing back and forth the x-rays take too much bandwidth time. But other than that, having a practice management software in the cloud, I run my wife's practice Open Dental in the cloud. So my database in the cloud, it backs up automatically. I don't have to worry about it. I can access from anywhere in the world. I can just show it to you quickly how you can access if it's running my wife's practice quickly.
And which cloud did you go? I mean, Amazon, half of their revenue is their cloud business. Did you use Amazon Web Services for your cloud or Rackspace?
No, Amazon was a little expensive for us. So if somebody is hearing this podcast, there is a small company called DigitalOcean. You can use them or Microsoft Azure, because even you go Amazon, you need Windows operating system. So Microsoft Azure provides you a quicker way to provide you these access. So I can access my wife's practice. I should not be sharing it publicly, and she will hate me, but you can access from the cloud her practice calendar or almost many patient communication stuff over the cloud.
So if some young kid was listening to you right now and she's saying, okay, so I'm going to open up my own practice and I'm going to use Open Dental, would you have her have Open Dental on the cloud, or would you recommend her to have all of her hardware? What would be your decision?
So initially in the office, slowly once they learn, because the cost is the biggest prohibitive. If you work with going to the cloud, it's going to cost you a lot initially. So maybe 1 or 2 years down the line, when things are growing, they've got enough cash flow coming in, they can invest, they can move to the cloud, because cloud, even though it looks like, but it's kind of a little expensive. Sometimes when I check my bill, it's very high compared to what normal in the office. I can buy a server for $600, $700 from Costco and put it in my office, versus sometimes in 3 months, I've already spent $700 in the cloud. You never know when the processing power of the cloud. So cloud pricing is a little complicated.
So our 5-figure test is, I always ask you, is it faster? Is it easier? Is it higher quality? Is it lower cost? Is it smaller, more succinct? And when they start violating a lot of these things, if it's not faster and your staff wants a raise every year and your insurance companies want to pay you less and deny more claims, keeping one eye on the customer, patient, and one eye on cost is huge. But you're basically saying that cloud is expensive right now. So you'd have your own server, you'd get on Open Dental, and then you would recommend your patientXpress for smart caller ID, call tracking, insurance verification, reputation management, appointment automation, two-way texting, automated reports, tight integration, on and on and on. That's what you're saying.
Yep.
And also, I think what I would like to add, from a cloud-based perspective, having worked in other healthcare settings as well, right? So in general, the biggest roadblock is the security aspect. I think everybody worries about that, and it's a true concern. I mean, we don't have ours on the cloud yet, but I have known that several other health HIPAA compliant cloud-based systems out there. So I think again it's going to be a matter of time where the change will happen. And when you come to the security aspect of it now, I mean, you hear a lot about how people can hack into your servers as well. So you don't have to be on the cloud, to have security issues. And from that perspective, I think young dentists have to look into systems that are more amenable to incorporate newer and better features that make their practices very efficient going forward, because they really want to concentrate on dentistry. Right. And the more things that they can automate in terms of helping them manage their calls, their patients, patient engagement, insurance, all these things, the better off they are, I think.
So I love, it's bizarre. So, in my journey, Dentrix up there in Provo, Utah, right next to the god of dentistry, Gordon Christian, they started this practice management information system, and they were the first ones to come out when I was a kid to line right up with Bill Gates, Microsoft, Windows 3.0, and they've been riding the wave. But you look at all the things they never did or added or did right, and around northern slopes of Utah, there's like 10 different dental companies where I just think you shouldn't even have existed. Dentrix should have done that 10, 20 years ago. And it's just amazing. All these companies that sprout up just because of all the things they never did, all the things that we're talking about today. But the other issue, what I talked about, what you guys did first, all those things like that, are, the phones coming. The phones are the most neglected, your smart call ID, small dragon, all that kind of stuff. But the other big part of this equation is connecting it with your accounting software. I mean, I still can't believe that my Open Dental doesn't seamlessly integrate with SoftEd or Microsoft GP. Microsoft bought Great Plains Accounting. Why, where are we at now with the accounting deal? And everything that you're talking, every feature you're doing is basically about patients coming in over the phone, insurance, reputation management. Where are you at with the accounting?
So that's in the works. So accounting, not just with the QuickBooks or Great Plains, we are thinking from the inventory management perspective. So me and Satish are trying to work on raising some capital to take the company in a little more bigger directions, to do more integrations. And if we are able to raise the capital, definitely we'll tackle the accounting side and the inventory management side of the business, which is still lacking in the dental space.
Yeah, it's missing in action. I mean, it's like complete schizophrenia when you have two software systems. One is all the patients, scheduling, and insurance. And then the other one's your accounting. And then you walk into a dental office, you say, what do we have to do today to just break even? No one knows. So have you thought out any of your accounting? I mean, have you, if you got funded today, which accounting software would you go to? Because in my opinion, but then again, I got an MBA. I mean, I think Quicken and QuickBooks Pro is for personal home individual stuff. I think Peachtree, which is now owned by Sage, is the best, but it doesn't have any big name brand. Microsoft's the monster. They bought Great Plains Accounting. If you got funded today, what accounting software would you go with?
QuickBooks, I use QuickBooks, so I understand QuickBooks. That's where I would go first, for sure. But of course, we need to find out which is a bigger market share in the marketplace. That should be the business decision.
Yeah, and also I would say QuickBooks, also QuickBooks Online is the cloud version of it, which we use. I actually manage that. Part of that is also because, again, cloud-based integrations have to be part of any of these digital systems. So we absolutely are going in that direction. We will have more integrations into our software because of the same reasons that you said, Howard. And I believe, I think when it comes down to innovation around these products, right? So it's not unusual as a successful company gets larger, the innovation goes down, and that's normal process. And also on the other side of it, innovation happens because talent meets pain, right? If you think about how Hemesh started, he had the skill set of building a product like this, but at the same time, because it was driven by the pain in his wife's office. Similarly, a lot of things that I'm doing, including my role in patientXpress, it's driven by the pain as well as what we bring out of the table, and that's how innovation is coming out. And I think eventually our hope is that some of these bigger companies like Dentrix, Henry Schein, and Patterson would really be amenable to come and talk and support this innovation and growth.
Maybe Dentrix should start a venture capitalist arm, or the Henry Schein and the Patterson should start venture capitalist arm and fund us. That's what we're looking. So we have got these ideas. We can innovate. We can come up with the solutions quickly compared to them. So here, after they fund us, if we become big, they can acquire us.
So we talked about all the phone stuff, and the dentists don't know their phones. I still haven't met anyone that can tell me how many incoming calls you had last month, how many went to voicemail. How many of the voicemail were answered and called? When they call in, the first thing I have to do is say, "Oh, what is your name?" And you say, "Oh, my name is Hemesh Surana," and then I got to type it in the computer when it should have just came up instantly. The minute I picked up the phone, I should have seen your beautiful face and all this stuff like that. So we talked about all that stuff. I want to switch gears to a different thing. Prescriptions. I think it's very sad when an 85-year-old grandpa comes in and you got to give him a prescription. When he leaves your office, he's got to go to Walgreens across the street, turn in the prescription, wait in line. Was it one of your first features, a patientXpress, or where are you at with prescriptions?
So we started prescription initially, but the cost was prohibitive for us to do electronic prescription. So we dropped the idea. Again, when we have enough funds to come back on that track, and we can always get into that market too.
And so then is your first product called, so what is your first project called? Is it called Converged Com?
So that was the old name which we used to before. Now we have changed the branding. So Smart Color ID was our first product. The pop-up,
right?
When phone rings in the office, it pops up. And then we provide shortcuts on those pop-ups so that you don't have to ask first name, last name. Not even you have to type in your practice management software. It directly takes you inside the practice management software. So we have taken 1 or 2 minutes of time of identifying patient and quickly get to the profile of the patient. So that was our first product.
Okay, so your first and what makes it cost prohibitive? Is it HIPAA regulation? What is the what is the cost driver to make that so complicated?
So in the prescription world, there are two big players in the marketplace, and they have captured the market, and they don't want to loosen up, and they want the money if you want to use their systems to do electronic prescription or integration in your practice management software. eScripts, and I forgot the other one.
And then on the Smart Caller ID, so with your system, patientXpress, if I'm on SoftNet and I have patientXpress, when you call my office, it pulls up the screen, right?
Yes, it pulls up. So right now we are integrated with Open Dental and Dentrix and working on EagleSoft. We are not yet with SoftDent. We tried communicating with SoftDent to integrate this. We never got any feedback from their company. They never talked to us. So we are only integrated with top 3 practice management software in the marketplace.
So
Open Dental.
Yeah, Open Dental in Oregon, and then Dentrix in Provo, Utah, and then EagleSoft in Effingham, Illinois. Speaking of EagleSoft, it's right there in Effingham, right next to the biggest dental player, DSO, Rick Workman with Heartland Dental. I would think if I was a company like you, that the first people I would go talk to is DSOs, because the dentists all want to learn more dentistry. And that's why I love them. I flippin' love the fact that all they care about is their art, their surgery, their dentistry, but they don't know any of their business metrics. I mean, they don't know. They couldn't even tell you last year's return on equity versus return on asset, how many. I mean, they can't tell you anything about that. And that's why I love them. It's challenging. But have you gone to DSOs? Because those are the people that want to talk better, faster, easier, higher quality, more profit before bone grafting. So
yes, that's a major part of our strategy for sure. We haven't really had any serious conversations, partly because all of our features, we've been launching several of these features over time in the last year and a half. So as of Q1 2019, we have a fully functional product with all the features, and now we know it's working. So now we are actually making headway. We are in Southern California, where some of the big DSOs are headquartered. PDS is not too far from where we live, and Smile Brands. And we are actually, and if they're listening to us, I think we'd love to have the conversation with them. But we're also working with a couple of advisors who could introduce and take us there. But we are ready to have that conversation right now, because we can absolutely show the impact. And as you said, yes, I mean, the basic tenet or the core of the product is this integration of phone and your patient management system with the software, right? So you don't have to buy a new phone system as far as you have a digital phone. Practically any practice management system can be integrated, but we know 3 large ones can be. And so when the phone rings, on the first ring, even before you pick up the phone, you have this easy to understand dashboard that anybody in the front office can understand and have conversations with the patients and make it very, very productive. And on top of that, obviously, we have this whole patient engagement platform with, the texting, the reviews, the appointment reminders, a bunch of things that you can think of. So clearly, it's a system that would be very valuable. And the differentiation piece compared to other providers is this software plugin for the phone and the patient management system. We do not need hardware.
You do not need hardware?
Nope.
No.
So within 15 to 20 minutes, if you have a digital phone service, we can enable this smart caller ID in your office. And since you have open dental, Dr. Farran, so it's even more easier.
Okay, and your website, patientXpress, you talk about a lot about web texting and all that kind of stuff. What is integrated texting, web texting? What do you mean by all that?
Perfect. So, for example, you're on the road. You want to check who texted you in your office. Using your smart device, you can peek into all these SMS communication or texting communication happening in your office, and you can reply back. So basically, you're carrying your office and your smartphone, and you can connect to the patients, follow with them.
Yeah, and it's really different behavior because, like I say, I've lived through several rodeos being 56 years old. I can remember when the banks started rolling out the ATM machines and nobody thought this was going to take off. Now they're doing, like Open Dental's got the plugin for online scheduling. And all my dentist friends that are my old, I told them, they just said, well, that sounds like a really bad idea. We did it with Open Dental, and it's been a really good idea. So people are different, but you're out there in California. What percent of the patients do you think would rather go to your website and schedule an appointment online without talking to a human like an ATM versus call up and talk to a human?
So in our office, about 10 to 12% appointments are online appointments, especially the emergency patients.
10 to 12%?
Yeah.
Okay, 10
to 12% mostly are emergency patients. So late in the night when they're in the pain, they're searching for any dental office who is going to opening 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. in the morning. And when the searchers, if they're nearby our office, we pop up through those search engine optimizations, and they see the opening in our website, and they just book the appointment. So we have seen many patients showing up, and we make $5,000 on that treatment because they were emergency, had a root canal, needed a crown. So that is the must, I say. Online appointment booking has become, for emergency patient, is the must solution for everybody.
Okay, so if you were on Shark Tank and you're talking about trying to go out and get funding and do more stuff and all that kind of stuff, that must be exciting times for you. The first thing they're going to ask you on Shark Tank is, what does this cost? So, so if I'm a dentist listening to you and I want this, what does it cost?
Yeah, so it can cost anywhere between as low as $49 per month to $299 per month for the whole suite of features, right? So it's very modular. It's monthly fees, no long-term contracts. And so, yeah, as I said, like it could be $49 or $299 based on what all you need. So when you look at the complete suite of features, so we actually would provide the best bang for the buck because we actually, put everything together and made it a comprehensive package at that point.
And then Mr. Wonderful, if you ever watch Shark Tank, you guys ever watch Shark Tank?
Yes,
and
absolutely.
The smartest guy in the room, it's always the bald guy. So it has to be Mr. Wonderful and the most handsome. The next thing he would ask you is, who are your competitors in that space? I mean, is it Yappy, Lighthouse, Solution Reach, Revenue Well? Who is your competitors in this space?
Yeah, I think you pretty much named a bunch of them, but I think a very important competitor for us is Weave. Of course, Weave has done made some good progress. They came out of Y Combinator, raised a lot of money, and they're really doing well, and we are happy for them. I think the main differentiator is Weave's selling a phone system. And that's a tough sell when you're a dental business because changing your phone system is not easy. You're really scared for it. There's more money involved. But in our case, we do not need to sell the phone, and we can integrate with any digital phone. And we don't even, it's very easy over the web. We can essentially install the software for within 30 minutes, and we can let you try for 1 to 2 months even before you have to make any changes in your office. So that's the biggest differentiator. And when it comes to Yapi, RevenueWell, and several other patient engagement softwares, yes, they're competitors. They offer similar things that we are. But when we put the whole package together, especially with the phone and patient management system integration, we are very different. We actually have an issued patent, and we believe that we bring the most to the table, including the insurance verification, where most of these providers don't have that.
Let's go back to insurance eligibility. If they paid you $49 to $250 a month, do you still have to have a person calling all these insurance companies? What is the best way to check eligibility right now in 2019?
So if you want to get a quick insurance verification, you can always use patientXpress. For example, somebody walked in, you want to find out whether they're active on that insurance or not, and what percentage for the diagnostics is covered or not. Within 2 minutes, by having the first name, last name, date of birth, and the insurance ID, this 4 information, they can quickly get the details as I shared in the demo, and can find out whether they have ortho coverage, what else is covered. But when you want to get the details, you can always ask your front staff to call insurance companies and get further limitations like the fluoride or night guard and all those code-based details. They can always call. But basic information, we can give you within a fraction of a second.
And what do you think is your hottest unique selling proposition?
I would say our unique selling proposition, again, is this is a software plugin that could be installed in your office within 30 minutes from anywhere in the world. And you get to try 1 to 2 months before you decide anything. And in most cases, the cost of patientXpress is probably zero if you're already paying some other providers for your texting and reminders and things like that. Because when you look at our overall cost, again, it's probably just an exchange of what you're already paying. So I think it's completely worth trying the comprehensive system, which includes the smart caller ID with the intelligent dashboard, insurance verification, and a whole suite of patient engagement tools. All together will make it very cost effective and really take the practice to the next level within a couple months.
Hemesh, I got a question for you. When I'm talking to my buddies that are dentists, and we talk about practice management software, they're talking Open Dental, Dentrix, EagleSoft, etc. When I'm talking to my buddies that own dental manufacturing companies with 1,000 employees, they're on Oracle, and you worked at Oracle for a decade. When you worked at Oracle from 2008 to 2018, how does the business world that you dealt with that whole time seem compared to now that you're in healthcare in the dental world?
So when I was at Oracle, I was working with Fortune 500 companies, and they had a budget for process improvements. So they think about marketing, and I know they can spend so much money in marketing, but they forget that they're losing the patients behind. Keep your existing patient, retain them, nurture them, and improve your processes. You'll make more money than just going outside for a new patient versus having your existing patients referring you word of mouth and making you bring the paying patients versus all these marketing patients. You come in, they come for $50 or $30, are cheap patients, and they never show up again for the big treatments.
And go ahead.
So invest in process improvements versus too much in marketing so that your engine is smooth and then you can take on more patients. That's what I've learned from corporate world to a small enterprises like my wife's dental practice.
And what was it like working for Larry Ellison? I mean, he's like the third richest man in America.
Yes, it's a fun company. Oracle, absolutely. When I was trying to leave Oracle, I had second thoughts. Man, I'm having such a good job. I was managing one account called Delight, and we were generating almost $500 million of revenue for Oracle, together with 3 or 4 folks us. So leaving that job when you had such a high lifestyle and work, helping your wife when she was complaining, so I felt like, it's fine. Corporate world is great, but this is my time to create my own world, to start my own company and help the boutique dental practices like my wife's dental practice and help them compete with the bigger practices, which are leveraging the money power, the muscle power of money, and taking away the small dental practices away. So that's what I feel like. by providing this process improvement for small boutique dental practices, they can compete with the bigger practices and can have a better profitability in the practice.
The way I'd like to add a little bit there, because again, Hemesh, I know you brought up the small versus practices, but the way that I see it is it's a very macro level, Howard, because I feel when you look at the amount of insurance benefits that are wasted and the amount of patients that still don't have dental benefits, or they don't, I think there's a huge opportunity. I'm not even concerned about small versus large dental practices. I think create systems that overall improve the dental health of the United States and across the world. I think that should be our goal, because in my mind, I mean, this is something that everybody has to think about. Your mouth is supposed to be an entry point for a lot of other diseases, right? So I think if we look at it from that perspective, how can we build systems that make it so much more easier for the patients and the practices to expand the dental healthcare overall globally? I think that would be a huge opportunity for every dental practice, every company that's working on these kind of systems.
That's true.
I think it's a huge opportunity out there.
My favorite, Larry Ellison, last time I heard him talk on YouTube, he was saying our services at Oracle are social, mobile, and simple, and in the cloud. Larry Ellison. This reputation management goes to the heart of the Homo sapien. I mean, it's a social animal, and it feels more comfort in making a decision if he thinks that's what everyone else is doing. So when they walk into a grocery store, there's 60,000 SKU items. That's why humans are so brand loyal. I mean, I still walk in, I see the coffee, there's 8 million brands, but I drink Folgers, my mom drinks Folgers, my grandma drinks Folgers, you're just on Folgers. How is the reputation management going? And on your product, and what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so I'll actually take that, because that's an area of my interest as well. So the reputation management comes into play. I think it's really key. It goes back to existing patients in my mind, right? So as a dental practice, I mean, you should really focus on internal systems again, not so much on external systems. I think the reviews and all are great, and then you paying outside agencies to get those reviews are fine. But at the end of the day, if you have a process that really treats every patient that comes into your practice as a VIP and has the best experience right from the beginning, where they book your the registration, when they walk in, walk out, and afterwards, I think that's humongous, because I believe, and I've learned this with my own wife's practice. I mean, we don't have thousands of patients, but I think we are doing fairly well with a few hundred of patients. That primarily because our focus on reputation management, and this is something that the large corporations are spending a lot of money. And you gave a good example, Howard. Again, from a coffee perspective, and I always go to Starbucks. Now, why? And inadvertently, I'm a spokesperson to Starbucks now, talking about it already. And this is what I want every dental practice to invest on. When people go out, they should talk about dentists, even without dental needs. And I think that's where the reputation management should go. And I believe, again, systems like ours will really facilitate that.
So Satish is a veterinarian and is married to a dentist, Chitra. But I have to be honest, my favorite Chitra is Dr. Chitra Gidwani right here in Phoenix, Arizona. It's the most amazing dentist in the state of Arizona. But what has pleased Chitra the most on this PatientXpress? What did you guys do where Chitra came home from work one night and says, "Good job, Satish"?
Well, that's a very good question, and I'm sure you'll like my wife as well once you get to know her. So it all started for us. We started practice like anybody else, and I think all these general problems in the front office and issues that you need to work with clerical errors and phone inefficiencies and things like that. And one day she happened to really have this fun conversation with Rachna, and they're good friends, and that's how we actually came to know. Yes. And then once once we actually established this in the practice and started looking at how quickly it changed the process. More than I think money is an important part. I don't diminish that, but more importantly, how smoothly we were able to really let the day go by, right? In terms of calls and then reports and what we are able to generate in terms of patient follow-up and things like that. She just felt that, oh, I just feel my days are going by much more easily and smoothly, and I think she really felt that, and she was like, thank you very much for making it happen.
So Hemesh, you're the founder and CEO of patientXpress. You too are married to a dentist, Dr. Rachna. Same question to you. What did you do where Rachna came home one night from work and said, good job, Hemesh?
So whenever any patient gives her a good review, or whenever just like when we released our patient registration or online appointment booking, and when patients showed up 8 a.m. in the morning with the big check, she said, man, you guys saved me so much time and money. So I love what you have done so far with the patientXpress. Keep going. Maybe one day I can retire and join you in the patientXpress.
Nice. I just think this is amazing. And also, I want to tell you, the reason I had you guys come on the show is because I'm a big fan of your posts on Dentaltown. I mean, you guys have been posting away on Dentaltown. And the reason it's important to me is because I want to be a leader to these young kids. And I don't have to lead a young kid into wanting to learn more about Invisalign and implants. Hell, that's why they're dentists. I mean, their dental degree shows you they're already interested in that. To be a leader in dentistry, you got to lead them to the things that they don't care about, and they just don't care about the business. They don't care about and they can't. And even when they say, "Oh, I like the business," okay, answer one question: how many incoming calls you have last year? They don't know. How many went to voicemail? I don't know. How many came during working hours? I don't know. What is your overhead? What is your break-even point? What you ask them anything to do with the business of dentistry? I mean, I might as well ask my 8-month-old 5th grandchild Jasper. So it's everybody's best interest to try to get the healthcare and the government to be focused on business. And there's only 2 entities in America where you have to wait in line. It's when you're dealing with doctors or the government. When you were with Oracle, I mean, these people had budgets to deal with what you're talking about. And, when you're with Oracle, you're dealing with people who already get it. I mean, you don't have to go to Silicon Valley and explain to them what the internet is. And you don't have to go to the Fortune 500 to say, hey, have you ever thought about overhead and profit? And yeah, we've really thought about that a lot. But so I really, I'm excited that you're on Dentaltown talking about all these issues. I'm excited you're married to Dennis, so you got a lot at stake about this. I mean, trust me, not only do I want you to success, I know your dentist wives want you to success. Is there anything that I should have asked you today that I wasn't smart enough to ask you on this interview?
No, I think everything went well. We truly appreciate the opportunity to come and explain more and discuss more about our product. And I think that this has just been a great opportunity for us to interact with you, and through you, hopefully, and thousands of dentists. And all I would say is, hopefully they will have an opportunity to come talk to us through our website or email, and we are happy to help.
How do they contact you? What's the best way to contact you?
So our website has our information. So it's very simple. It's patientexpress.us, and once you get there, you'll be able to find our information. And I think it's, if there's a contact form, there are phone numbers, but certainly we hope you'll be able to reach us too.
And it's patientXpress. It's not Express with an E. It's just Patient Big X Press.
Yeah.
Patient Big X capital Press. So patientexpress.com. Gentlemen, thank you for coming on the show, and tell both of your wives I said hello.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Howard. Thanks a lot for the opportunity.
All right. Have a rocking hot day.